How are body organs specialised? Well, we all start out as one round cell, and then we have to multiply and multiply, and then our body organs have to take on particular functions. And so what happens is that in our genetic information, we have all the genetic information to build an entire body in all of our cells. But genes are turned on and turned off at different parts of our development. So when it becomes time in the womb, say for a baby to start forming a liver or a heart, the cells that are required to make that function. So for a muscle cell, we need proteins that actually slide in and out on one another. We need energy burning mitochondria to power that. So those genes will be turned on and other genes will be turned off. So it's a matter of accessing the right information. So if you think of your DNA in your cells as being a great big archive, and the body knows, all right, we're going to need to build a heart here and a liver there and some lungs somewhere else. So the cells that are going to build the heart will go and access the information for muscle building, whereas the liver cells will go and access information for liver cells, which is a sort of biochemical factory in your body to process the things that you eat. It will access the information that's necessary to build those cells. It's very, very clever, and it's one of the things that we are just starting to understand is how genes are turned on, how they are turned off, how they are regulated. It's not just on and off switches, they're a bit more like dimmer switches. In other words, they can be turned on slowly, quickly, a lot, a little, and that's what makes the variation in different functions of different cells. So it is really clever, and it's an area of huge research now as to how we get specializations, how we regulate genes, but all the information is there in every cell. Isn't that amazing? When do organs appear in the fetus? Quite young. Now, they don't all appear at once. Some of the earliest organs to appear are the brain. After all, it takes a lot to grow a human brain. It's a very large and complicated process. So one of the first things to appear is a brain and a spinal cord. And then your heart starts quite early, and it starts to pump quite early. In fact, cardiac muscle cells, that's heart muscle cells, are really funny. They have an intrinsic rhythm built into them. You can actually put some in a culture dish and watch them under a microscope, and they'll sit there and just beat away. So they're built for rhythm. So that starts quite early because as soon as the body gets to be bigger than just a bundle of cells, you need to nourish those cells, so you need a circulating system to move the fluid around. Blood cells start forming quite early. In a little pouch that's just outside the embryo that everyone thinks is a yolk sac that was left over from evolution. No, it's not. It's there to start forming the first blood cells, because our blood cells are formed inside our bone marrow, and the liver can also form blood cells. But very early on, you need blood cells. So we have a little temporary place to make blood cells until we actually grow some bones and grow a liver. Some of the last organs to develop are things that you're not going to need until after you're born. So your digestive system, your reproductive organs, they're fairly late. So it's a very clear, orderly process. And the things that are largest and most complicated, like your brain, start off first, and then you gradually add the organs as the growing fetus needs them. It is an amazing system of regulation, and we still don't understand it, but again, it goes back to current research is showing the brilliant forethought that goes into it, the amount of information that goes into just regulating the process. It is absurd to think that it happened by just chance random processes. It couldn't.